In Scotland, boys who are under the age of 10 could be breaking the law if they spot a naked mannequin while out shopping. So like if you're walking through Primark or something on like a Monday morning and the woman's like, oh flip, forgot to bring this blouse out for the mannequin, and you're walking along and seeing a pair of plastic dids, you could be scooped.
I don't get that. The fact the child
So why is the child get punished for their mistakes then?
Here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack, here's the crack. Welcome back, talking shit and drinking wine, like and subscribe. Here's the crack.
How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast. I surprised you there, didn't I? Welcome.
Get the fuck.
Shut up, hey. Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Crack podcast with myself, Ross, Thomas, and Shay.
What's up?
Also known as the three banter merchants.
Don't do that ever again, please.
Just
Stop.
Just
Stop.
Please.
fun fueled episodes.
James is gonna see us and he's like, why do you let him intro?
Why do you let him do that? Why do you let him do that, please?
Because I'd get laughed at that.
You're killing our street cred. Like.
Because James is such a comedian, isn't he?
Fucking
You wouldn't be saying that if he was here, would you?
it's not my head.
He'd roast you.
That'd be take the feet from underneath him. Anyway, if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, all that there jazz. Follow the podcast on Spotify, leave us comments and whatnot, and share with obviously your family and friends. And yes, we'll get straight into it. No kissing. Tommy's question time. Roll the intro.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
It's Tommy's question time.
If you could be adopted by one fictional family, who would it be and why?
Fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction. Or non-fiction? What do you mean non-fiction?
Like real or like fake?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Ross's question time now.
Yeah.
We're in the segment.
Shay?
Oh my god, I forgot the names. Do you watch Modern Family?
Yes.
What do you call them?
Phil and Claire.
Phil and Claire.
Phil and Claire.
Fucking, he's just such a dork, but he's so cool. Like to have his dad, like. And I don't know, it's just the dynamic of it. It would be so funny. Like. You'd never have like a non-funny day. Like. It'd be laughs all the time. Like. And then having like the extended family as well of like Gloria and Phil. and then having, what do you call it, Cam and
Mitch and
Mitch
Cam.
as your uncles. Like. I think that'd be awesome. Like.
That is a good shout.
Do you watch Modern Family?
Yeah, nearly finished them.
Was it good?
Second last season now, yeah. No, it's unreal. Like. So funny now.
What about you?
So I was thinking about this the other day in light.
Do you mean yesterday?
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day actually before you even asked the question.
Where you fuck?
Yeah, Kardashians, man.
Why?
Lad, anything they touch, they just make money.
Incest,
like
though?
the start of that,
Couldn't be going near that.
the start of that new season. It's on Disney Plus. Lucinda's watching it, but I like sort of watched an episode of it the other day, and I was like, you know what? Anything they do, they'll make money because it's just them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like your doll Kim's out there, your girl Kim's out there doing the whole Skims thing, and then Kylie's doing Kylie Cosmetics and all. And it's just like I could do anything. Like
What would you do?
I could launch my own clothing brand that would just bang.
Here's a question.
But
If you were
it.
a Kardashian, what would you do? Like, what would be your brand?
Nothing.
You'd be a wee Rob. What are you on about?
What do you
Do
mean?
nothing. Like.
Oh, what do you mean?
Just be useless and get, what do you call her, pregnant?
Oh, right. No, I don't know what I do. I think I would probably do like what we're doing. Like I'd probably do like podcasting, interviewing celebrities, like big time
So you'd be
celebrities.
famous.
Let's
Who would
be
be your
honest, though,
guest?
Anybody. You could Michael B. Jordan.
Straight off the bat.
Michael B. Jordan. You could go for who literally you could Cristiano Ronaldo.
But they're not. They're not famous for their personalities or anything. They're famous for their looks.
But if I was involved in the family, why could I not be famous for my personality?
That's not.
Be like, oh,
Would you
you've
just be
Kim.
Rob's not famous.
You've
Would
Kim,
you just be the ugly one that's got a personality?
perhaps, yeah. Like, you've got Kim, Courtney, and Claire, and you're like, oh, lad, this is Ross. He's
Claire. You're thinking of Modern
Oh,
Family.
Kim, Courtney, and Chloe. And
Claire, the Irish
Claire.
sister.
Kim, Courtney, and Kiva. And yeah, you just be like, oh, there's Ross. He's just
Would you keep the name Ross? Like, would you be like Ross Kardashian?
Yeah.
That doesn't have the same ring.
yeah. I mean, why not? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think.
Flip me. You asked me what family I want to be adopted into. You did. It wasn't where there's terms and conditions.
Kieran Kardashian.
So I was just more going down the family life of things. Like, I would enjoy living with these people.
You'd
Would you enjoy living with the Kardashians?
Yeah, man. Yes.
Absolutely.
But like they're gonna be your sisters. Like,
come on over for a family barbecue. Here, I invited Kevin Hart with me. I no sweat. Meanwhile, you're bouncing on a trampoline with Phil Dunphy. Get a life.
fuck you. Trampolining's awesome.
Sitting rollerblading up and down the street with Phil and Claire and Gloria. Meanwhile, I am living a lush life in LA, just doing whatever I want.
Selling real estate.
Me and Michael B. Jordan are out doing CrossFit in the backyard.
The Kardashians just have access to any celebrity.
They do. They literally do. They literally do.
Don't know.
Making sex tapes and all.
Yeah. Not sure that would be me, but I wouldn't be known for that.
You'd be the one.
Yeah.
You'd be the Kardashian that starts an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I
would
would.
the cameraman. Like.
No, I wouldn't be the Kardashian that would be like, you know, known for like the scandals. I would just be like, oh, there's Rossi, sound bloke. Like,
it's easy to say that. You'd get roped into some scandal.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Say, fuck, you see Ross out in the back of the nightclub list. Jesus. It's all over page 3.
Yeah, you couldn't get away with nothing. Like.
Well,
too famous. Too
You'd
famous.
be all over TMZ.
It's not the first time we've been mentioned on an internet series. So, good one. What family would you be?
Stuck between two. Like, one would be the Beckhams. Like.
Nice.
Just blessed with good looks, can do whatever you want. Like.
Yeah.
Man, that wee bike's getting absolutely rinsed for the car
I
video.
know,
though.
but he's reloaded.
I'm a chef, like.
Would you give a fuck?
And he's
But like,
driving around in
I
the
would be
McLaren,
like, I seen people talk about it, and someone was like, if that was me, I would have just been like, my dad's David Beckham. I don't need a job.
Fair.
I'd love to
his
be like
answer was
that.
stupid,
Just
like.
be like, I'm fucking loaded. I don't need a job.
Yeah.
Or
Fair.
he'd have to be all like, I'm just so blessed. My daddy's just had such a successful career. I don't need a
Yeah.
job.
Who's that one?
You could just do whatever you want. Or the Starks, like, Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You're going to say something like that.
See you Morrison just flying about in an Iron Man suit, like, just because Dahl left it lying about. Like.
Do you think you'd be allowed down
And you'd
in
be-
his garage?
And you'd
Like,
be blessed with genius. Like. You'd just
Yeah.
be a fucking genius. Like.
What if
you
you-
could create time travel and
what
shit?
if you were his child and you were stupid as fuck?
That wouldn't be the case.
But what if like, you'd
What
be
if
fucked then? Like,
What if you
wouldn't
got?
be.
What if you got Pepper's
You'd be
genes?
smarter than him. Like.
Yeah.
you pepper buddy?
Yeah.
She's smart as well.
Mm.
She's not as smart. Like.
How do
She's
you
like,
know?
That would suit you. Jarvis would just go around doing everything.
You just
see her.
imagine.
You'd
Why
be,
not, like?
you'd be 10 times lazier than
Jarvis
what you are now.
Jarvis get me a Guinness, no bother.
your dad would be Iron Man. You'd be Fat Man. Like.
Iron Man and Fatson. Fat boy.
Sidekick.
You're not going to fit in that suit, lad.
Sidekick of the century. Dad, have you got something
this
my
suit's-
size, please?
Dad, this suit's too tight, lad.
Are you bringing Black Widow round for dinner?
Of course. She's extended family.
Wanda.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, Wanda.
Cast a spell on
Wanda.
me.
Seeing some visions of you, Wanda.
That was a good one. That was a good question.
Quality content.
By,
Love it.
by the time we're recording this, the World Cup is in full swing.
World Cup.
Should be coming out the week it's ending.
Yeah.
Should it?
No,
Fuck.
this is
It's
coming
only
out.
3 weeks, isn't it?
This is coming out next week.
Well, we do our
World Cup's
predictions.
only 2 weeks. Right, go.
Because
Yeah.
when this comes out, we're recording this literally like the third day into the World Cup. Like,
Yeah.
so we
So
don't know who wins it,
Argentina has just been beat by
but
Saudi Arabia.
Who have you
Um,
got? Like?
I think it'll be England.
Actually,
Yeah, man.
why?
Just I think it'll be England or Portugal.
Goes to football. The football very nice.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
score goals. They do nice play. Pass ball. Good tackle.
I
defend.
think it'll be Portugal.
No.
Yeah,
I'd love it to be Portugal.
But see,
Portugal's my
everyone's-
team, like.
Everyone's saying about Argentina and all, but like Portugal actually have a decent team.
They do.
If you got Cancelo, Bruno, Ronaldo,
Silva.
Joe Felix, Dalo,
Did you say Ronaldo there?
yeah,
Christian Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Do you know,
Sui.
They do have a good team, but
with more like what do you call him
It
as
would be-
well from
it'd be too much of a fairy tale.
Wolves? Like,
Be too much of a
Neves and
fairy
all
tale.
that.
See,
wanna-
I think there's a lot more to lose for like the likes of Ronaldo at the minute, because obviously right now, like on the day we're recording, he's just been let go by United.
Yeah.
Like he needs and the likes like for Messi
But
and
then he can
Ronaldo.
focus on it, like.
For Messi and Ronaldo, this is going to be their last World Cup.
I was watching
So-
the Piers Morgan interview and Ronaldo actually saying the words like He was like, "This is probably going to be my last World Cup," and you're sitting there thinking, "Fuck,
Yeah.
Ronaldo's going to be retired soon."
Brought
and
me
Messi
back
as
to
well.
the days of like him at like 23 and me being like,
Winning
whenever I'm
Champions
23, I want to be
League
like him. Like.
Yeah.
Who have you got?
What?
Who do you think is going to win?
Oh shit! I forgot what the question was.
Guitar.
I think it's going to be like France or something.
France, yeah.
I think France have a good chance.
France
I
have a
was
good
saying
chance.
Argentina the whole way, but I don't think so now. So I think France or Brazil.
Why do you think Argentina though?
I actually don't know. I think I just sort of give in to everyone saying it because Messi plays on, but they're shit.
They're shit.
Yeah,
France,
I think
France or Brazil is a good shout. Like.
Brazil have a sick team, but it's all like
I know, but they
it's all
always have a
strikers,
sick
like.
team.
Yeah, they have no defense. Like. Well, they do like.
It's
I
that.
see.
interesting.
Did you see the accommodation they have out there?
No.
It's not great. It's tents basically. Like but it's like £180 a week or something for it.
Right.
It's like we box tents,
Yeah.
and like how you basically close the fabric across and padlock it.
Sure,
For
all the
like-
stadiums have only been thrown up in the last year.
Yeah.
Like, there's only
There's a
one
whole-
stadium that actually wasn't built for that.
There's been
World Cup, like.
so much controversy around it this year.
Yeah.
Like we'll get into some of the ones, but like with regards to obviously building the stadium and stuff, there's a lot of rumors around like the death toll of people building the stadiums.
Yeah.
I seen a reporter who went to like the World Cup, the village where you pay for your accommodation and stuff, and like the likes of like they heard like running the water and like the first 5 seconds of the water run, that was just brown. And but like I also really, there was a guy done an interview the other day, I think it was BBC, and they were commenting obviously a lot on, like the news does, they focus a lot on the negative side of stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, he was just like, we're out here for football. Like, yes, there's no beer. Would it be great if there was beer? 100%. But we're here for the football.
Yeah.
We're living. We're staying in these people's country. We need to respect their laws. We need to respect their beliefs, and we're happy enough to do that. So we're just here for the football. Like,
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, fair play. That's a very
But I think that's like, you wouldn't go to a country that has a certain law and be like, oh, I'm going to break this law now.
yeah.
It's like, if you don't agree with it, just don't go.
It's like an American coming over here and being like, spin their gun about. Like, yeah, it's legal over there, but like you don't do that here. Like.
Oh no, yeah, like an American's not going to come over and whip out a gun and be like, oh, well, I can do this at home.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
Do you know, you need to just respect the laws.
Yeah.
You
It's
see-
even respecting people's beliefs too. Like
Yeah.
it seems like religion or something. Like you don't go and hating someone because they're a different religion. Like.
Yeah.
But like there's
People have their
countries,
beliefs.
there's countries playing in the World Cup where like, it's gay,
It's so gay to play
it's
football. Like.
illegal to be gay, like.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know, so it's like, everyone's talking about Qatar, but
Saudi Arabia, it's illegal as well, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Not
actually
sure.
stopped singing their national anthem and all too.
Yeah.
The players and all don't sing it.
Protest
and then-
about the harsh treatment of women, I think.
yeah,
But
the
I-
dress code and all.
Everyone was giving England stacks because of the whole like One Love band, like who they were going to wear and support like gay rights, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it because they were going to get yellow carded, and there was this whole debate of like, oh, they should have had the balls to do it and all this here stuff and took the yellow card. But like at the
I
same
don't-
time, it's not up to the players. Like,
Yeah, I don't get how the player gets punished for that with the yellow card. Is that not? Would that not? Should that not be like a fine on the team or something? Like?
I suppose in a
'Cause
way that is.
Do you not think though
This-
FIFA should have had this all ironed out?
But like that's what I mean. No one was saying, like, it was obviously in the news when it was happening, but like nobody was stopping it then, and it's happened now, and everyone's like, oh well, the players aren't doing
Yeah.
enough. Like the players don't decide where the World Cup
Yeah.
is. Like,
I
Yeah.
think there were what's sort of been the case is I think they expected, because it wasn't like a proper dress code in Qatar, they would have paid fines. But then
Yeah.
I think now there's obviously been, yes, they were prepared to pay the fines because obviously they're making millions. And they were like, we're willing. But now that they're facing sanctions in terms of like, we've done all this training and now we're going to head out here. If we put on this armband, we might not be able to like play. And some, you for example, you think about the likes of like Ronaldo or something walking out there and wearing something like that, getting sanctioned and maybe missing out a game
yeah,
on his last ever World Cup. But it's like, I do get why people are frustrated, but at the same time, it's like, I think
it's not up to the players. Like,
Mm.
and like that's another thing. I think seeing Gary Neville was talking about it, and he made this whole big speech on ITV, and was basically like there's political parties that take money from like the likes of Qatar, and there's like a lot of the big banks are owned by Qatar and like that sort of like region and stuff, and like nobody says anything about that. And all the big airlines, like the likes of like the Etihad and all are all from these countries. Like,
Yeah.
and nobody gives a fuck. But like all of a sudden, it's all about the players, and it's up to the players to fucking sort it out. No?
Yeah. But the way they're sort of portraying it too, it's like, oh, we wanted to give it to guitar to give them a chance and like sort of bring them in with like Western society and stuff. Like, but I just feel like that's such bullshit. Like, it's obviously because of so much money. Like, people want to just dip their pockets in that. Like.
It's bullshit because like the decision was made, and there's this whole thing about how like FIFA was bribed and all this here shit. But like, I suppose the point is like you can highlight it now. Like if they're highlighting it when they're in the country, maybe the people in the country will be like, yeah, maybe we do need to change. Like.
Yeah.
But I get people, you know, even with the likes of the whole like alcohol situation, a lot of people seem to feel free to give off about that. But like the fact is, no one held a gun to your head and forced you to buy a plane ticket and buy the tickets to go out there if you were unhappy with the situation in which you knew finally you'd be arriving into.
But
like, I could understand, like, you imagine us three getting tickets for something and then go
Manchester,
us going out, and then they're like, oh well, the drinks banned. We would probably still go for the experience, but I think a lot of us would be like, flip, if we knew this.
But if we have Manchester for next year, like if we went and then said the week before, oh, we're not serving like beer near the stadium, like, you'd be raging, like. Because they didn't actually say that before the World Cup. It was only like the week before they announced that.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a known thing like the whole time. It was only like up about a week before. Like people would have had their flights and all booked, their tickets bought. Like.
Yeah.
So they would have had this expectation, and now they're met with a new one. Like,
I think the thing is, like, there is drink that you can get drink in Qatar, but it's only at certain licensed places. Do you know what I mean? So I would say, I don't know. It just seems very, I don't know.
All thrown together.
That's it. Yeah. But it kind of got us thinking, like, you know, obviously every sort of country has their own certain rules. We did a podcast there a few weeks back. It was like a week or two ago, it would be now, where we were talking about moving from Northern Ireland to like different countries, and like I had said the likes of moving to Dubai. Like if one of us we were moved to Dubai with our girlfriends or fiancés or whatever, we wouldn't be, because we're not legally married, we wouldn't be allowed to live together. And I think it's just like, it sort of got us thinking like all them laws in different countries, and I think just to try and keep it a bit more upbeat, we thought we would look at like strange laws, sort of ones that were maybe not very commonly known. So Tommy, you took Ireland.
Yeah.
Is there some strange laws that you found?
As you can imagine, a lot of the laws in Ireland are based around religion. Okay. So there's basically a law that you couldn't attend the cinema on a Sunday in Northern Ireland.
That's still sort of not cinema like, but a lot of work. Like,
but you can do it now, but like they require a special license. Like,
what?
Yeah, it was the same for bookies as well.
The Cinema Order of 1991 requires a special licenses for premises wishing to open on a Sunday. Otherwise, attending a cinema on a Sunday could see you landed with a £50 fine.
Yeah, it's the same as bookies as well. Like. Bookies weren't allowed open in Northern Ireland either,
but
until this year.
I wanted to ask you about this, like, because obviously a lot of the laws are sort of based around religion, as in like Sunday is a day of rest and you shouldn't be doing things.
Yeah.
So like the bookies thing I was going to bring up, like what is your opinion on like not being allowed to do things because of religion, basically?
I think it's not really fair, because not everyone's the same religion, like, so why should everyone be under the same rule set
bracket? Like,
but then like, I'm not saying you should have to like make separate rules for like depending on what religion you are, but like people should have the option if they're not. Like, it's not, if someone's a religious person and they follow their religion and they think it's wrong to go to a bookies, for example, on a Sunday, they don't have to go to the bookies though.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be on the bookies to close. Like, they should be able to open, make their money off people who aren't religious and don't believe in that, like, and want to go on a Sunday. Like.
Yeah. Especially
because Sunday's a day off as well, like, that you generally don't work. Like it's a day that people might actually go to the bookies rather than a weekday where people's working. Like.
Exactly. Like, yeah. No, I agree. I think it's like you said, it's like your day off as well, and it's not really fair to be like, oh, no one can do that. Like, and I just think the law should be a completely separate thing. Like, it shouldn't be swayed by people's religious beliefs. Like. Like, it's a bit ridiculous. Like, you know what does my head on? Like, the fact that shops don't open the 1 o'clock.
I thought I knew you were going to say this.
It's like, what is that about?
But they're doing Katie.
Why is that though?
Katie open, like every shop in Katie opens the same time every single day.
Yeah.
including Sunday, and close at the same time. But
Yeah.
like even like big shops like Asda and all,
Yeah.
I don't know, is it the same over in England if they open up like 1 o'clock as well on a Sunday?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Bracket?
What do you think about that, Ross, with the whole religious, like, I don't know.
It's a weird one, like, to be honest with you. Like, it's one of them things where, like, I know I worked in a shop and we weren't allowed to come in until like 1 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to start work until like 1 p.m. on a Sunday, and it was strange. Like, it was strange to...
But that's obviously a thing that it's 1 o'clock because people go to their mass and stuff on a Sunday morning,
Yeah.
or their church or whatever, on a Sunday morning, which is generally at that time. So like a lot of like most, like, I'm not saying everyone's like doesn't believe in God now, but like
The Sunday
people
Trade,
don't really do that as much now.
The Sunday Trading Act is an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom governing the rights of shops in England and Wales to trade on a Sunday. Buying and selling on a Sunday had previously been illegal, with exceptions under the Shop Act.
I just realised I kicked the soundboard there and turned my volume down. I'm very sorry.
Oh, you broke the fucking board.
You know, I was saying, like, we didn't work until 1 on a Sunday. Like, in Carphone, we didn't open until 1 on a Sunday. And I know it was strange because, like... But then people still, you know, factories and stuff, do they not still open on a Sunday?
Yeah, I don't actually
I think
know.
it depends. Like, I don't think there's a lot of businesses open on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I suppose it is sort of a good thing as well, but at the same time, you're like, on your Sunday, like, if you got up and got your groceries at 9 o'clock, like,
Yeah.
I know the shops you can do that, but like, I mean, like the big shops, like.
I just think it's up to people.
Yeah.
Like, it's up to people to decide what time they open their shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
And it's up to people to decide, like, what time they should shop at. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I want to go do my groceries at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, well, then just like rip and tear on ahead. Like, you're not harming anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think, yeah, the
Like,
choice
if
should
you're
be there. Like,
if you're a religious person, you're obviously going to be at church on a Sunday morning, so you're not going to.
it's not going to bother you.
Yeah, and it's
But
not
it's
going to.
It's like the likes, even like you talk about the abortion laws and stuff and things like that. Like, it's sort of like religious type of sway.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, that's I thought it was a good point to make, because I think like that's obviously the case in the likes of like all like the likes of Qatar and stuff.
Yeah.
And like countries where where they believe like sexuality is wrong because of like religion.
Yeah.
So it's like it should be a separate thing. Do you know?
Yeah.
It should be like
I think though that's it though. A lot of laws back in the day were steeped by religion.
Yeah.
They were based on religion because at that time there was no such thing as having no religion. Do you know what I mean? You were. I think back in the day it was all
You were defined by religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
There's
what I
no
mean?
real diversity in places.
And you were an outcast if you were not religious at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was there any other weird and wonderful ones coming from Ireland?
It's too busy looking this boojum.
There used to be a law in Ireland where if you attempted suicide, the law was you're punished by death.
What?
Yeah.
I think that's fair enough. Like,
It's a win-win, really.
you're
like.
trying to go that way. Like, it's
What? So if you attempted to take your own life, what the heck, man? That's in Ireland.
Yeah, it used to be the case. I don't have the actual
But-
name of the law here, but
can you get sentenced to that if the suicide wasn't successful? Because technically, then it's not suicide. It's just a suicide attempt.
Oh, loophole.
So you have to kill yourself to be sentenced to death.
Oh, is it not if you're attempting?
Is it attempted suicide?
yeah, but
Yeah.
like if you tried to kill yourself, like obviously if you killed yourself, you wouldn't need to be punished, would you? You're
Yeah.
dead.
And did they get rid of that?
Yeah.
They have got rid of that.
Well,
law?
obviously,
So that's just
if someone tried
basically.
to kill themselves now, they'd be like getting traded for mental illness. Like they wouldn't be like, yeah, we're gonna kill you anyway. Fuck you.
It's essentially then legal euthanasia, isn't it?
I suppose that's true. Yeah,
In a way.
in a way.
But then you have.
But it wasn't illegal because it was a law.
But it would be a pain
I
too
read-
because you'd have to wait like all the sentencing and stuff like to do it.
Yeah.
I read about something in Ireland about like eggs. You were allowed. It was illegal to transport eggs or something in your car. Is that right?
Like the police could have like, because I think it was something to do with like,
Something to do with smuggling during the
get
troubles.
it up here.
I looked at UK ones. There were some strange ones. Like within Metropolitan Police District, excluding the City of London, it is illegal to walk down the streets while carrying a plank of wood, as well as poles, ladders, and placards.
Another one is a fish. You can't carry a fish around Britain in a suspicious manner. So you can't walk around. It's actually illegal to walk around like England with a fish. I think it's salmon specifically, or trout or something. if you're acting suspiciously, they can arrest you. It's actually a law.
I suppose you
Just
could
like
get
an old
arrested for
Victorian
just
one.
acting suspicious in any circumstances. Like.
But you can't. Like.
Yeah.
They need something on you. Like.
Yeah.
So if you have a fish, you're fucked.
Yeah.
They can arrest you. Though. It is
What's
actually.
your boy doing walking down there with a fish? Is he mad? Does he want to spend a night in jail? I seen this one. Did you ever play Knick Knock whenever you were younger?
We had this discussion. It's not fucking Knick Knock. It's
Or Ding Dong Ditch?
Knocked or Run.
Knock Door Run?
Knick Knock.
So the classic game you played when growing up.
Let's play Knick Knock, guys.
Did you ever play Garden Gnomes?
Is that the one where you knock the door?
You
and
knock the
still?
door and you just have to get down on your knees and just stand there and stare.
No, I'm not.
And like the person comes to the door. There was another one called it was like Knock Knock Wood or something, where basically like you knocked on the door,
Johnny.
knocked the door, and then asked them for like could you like get me something, and whenever they walked off, you'd like go into their house and try and find like a piece of like something wood to touch, and then come back out again by the time they got back.
What the fuck, man? Can
That's
you get me an
trespassing.
ice cream? Come
Yeah.
on in, kids. Door locks. Oh no.
There's another one. So yeah, Ding Dong Ditch, the classic game you played when growing up, knocking on strangers' doors and running away, is actually against the law.
Is it?
Yeah,
Where's this in? In UK?
in UK, yeah.
God.
Another one. In Scotland, boys who are under the age of 10 could be breaking the law if they spot a naked mannequin while out shopping. The law carries over from the classic relics from the old decency laws at time where Britain tried to prevent corrupting minds of young youth. So like if you're walking through Primark or something on like a Monday morning and the woman's like, oh flip, forgot to bring this blouse out for the mannequin,
Yeah.
and you're walking along and seeing a pair of plastic dids, you could be scooped. Like,
I don't get
Oh
that.
my
The
God.
fact the child is
Why
getting
does the
arrested and
child
not
get
the-
punished for
Yeah.
their mistakes? Like?
it
That's
must be the
mental.
parent or something who pays the price. So
Mommy, what are
it's
those?
basically about like corrupted, like trying to prevent corrupting the minds of young youth. So in Scotland, boys who are under the age of 10 could be breaking the law if they spot a naked mannequin. But like, how do you prevent that?
Well, imagine like a policeman walking through Primark and like this wee boy standing there staring at this mannequin, and he's looking at him and they make eyes and he's like chasing him through the shop. Like.
I'm here to turn myself in. Why?
You'd be sending the kids out in the morning with eye masks and being like, make sure you wear your eye mask now, little
Kid
Johnny. You don't want to be
standing there
seeing
and
any
he's like,
plastic
it's-
babies.
It's not what it looks like. I wasn't looking.
So yeah, there's that one. There's also one on fancy dress. Despite hundreds, if not thousands, dressing up as soldiers and police officers for Halloween. I did know this one, but if you dress up as like someone who is like employed by government, like law,
Yeah.
it's apparently illegal to do that. So if you went out dressed as like a policeman,
That's impersonating a police officer.
it's you're
What
impersonating
about
a
a
police
sexy
officer.
policeman though?
Yep.
You can get away with that one, big boy.
Do you know what I mean? I like
Smooth criminal.
smooth criminal. But yeah, there's other stuff as well. Like a lot of obviously the ones in the UK, as you know, are based around the royal family. So
Right.
things like if you place a stamp of the Queen's or now the King's head upside down when posting letters or parcels, reportedly is deemed to be seen as treason.
Yeah.
Seriously?
If you deface a coin as well with the Queen's face on it,
Yeah,
it's
That's
you're not
also-
allowed to write on money.
I wonder do people
Yeah.
actually get arrested for that? Like?
Psh, doubt. Maybe back in the day, I doubt now. Because
Like,
people
imagine-
like make earrings and stuff out of it, or
imagine,
rings
like,
out of coins, don't they?
The post, you hand a postman a fucking, or you go into the post office and you hand them a letter and you've accidentally put the post stamp upside down. And next thing he's hitting the silent alarm under the table.
He's
And
like,
he's like,
small talking. He's like, yeah.
he's like,
so
don't let them leave the store.
you just stay there, boy. Hey, yeah, I didn't need you
Call
right
the
there.
police.
Minute, boy.
It's like 999. Hello, we've got an emergency.
Put
But-
the fucking stamp upside down.
What have you done?
No, not again.
What have you done? Yeah, it's obviously a lot based around that. One that I don't know if you did know about, but you should be wary if you get a boost of motivation in the morning to clean your messy apartment, as it's actually illegal to shake your rug or mat out of the window before 8 a.m.
I did know this. This is a
What?
Victorian one where they used to beat the
Yeah.
rugs
Yeah.
before Hoovers.
Yeah.
So like they would
Not
have had the
serious.
rugs and would have shucked them outside the window like back in Victorian times.
Wasn't the only thing they were baiting.
Do you ever think,
Beating the
right?
bishop.
Do you ever think, right, about things that are laws that they just, you are reliant on other people being compliant with this rule or this law that's set It's weird because when you actually do think about it, like you're obviously like you approach a red light. Like so, the other day I was driving through Ballymena, and Ballymena is number one place for traffic lights and roundabouts.
Roundabouties.
Like
Hit a red light, stopped at the red light. There's no one crossing the road. I could have went on. No one would have noticed, but I stopped and sat there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then eventually went green. I was like, all right, sweet, way on. Way we go.
Who did I say that the other day when we were in Ballymena? I think it was one of you, our taxi driver, and they were like, oh, there's some amount of roundabouts in Ballymena. And I goes, like the people know the roundabout. Didn't enjoy that. Like, just didn't respond. But
another, just on my last strange one that I found was, unfortunately in the UK, for ladies, an obscure 19th century English law made it illegal for a woman to eat chocolate after getting on a bus.
After getting on a bus?
Like getting on a bus, so it was illegal for a woman to consume chocolate. Who comes up with
these laws?
I don't know.
How are they going to know?
Don't know.
sitting in Parliament and they're like,
you smell like Ulster bus.
Sitting in Parliament and they're like,
Cadbury's.
Boys, I was on the bus and this woman started eating a chocolate bar. It's fucking out of line. We mean sort this out.
Mate. This is a problem in our country.
She was sitting munching on an apple the next minute. Doesn't she whip out an Aero bar? I was shocked and appalled.
I can't believe it, mate. Just ate it straight out of the wrapper.
Did you find anyone's, Shay, from the rest of the world?
Yeah, I did. Number 8. Why am I saying the number?
Number 8.
Forgetting your wife's birthday may lead to jail. So in Samoa and Oceania, they're trying to improve that. There it is forbidden to forget your wife's birthday, and the husband must answer to justice and still indemnity the wife if the wife does so. If the wife ends up complaining about this awful mistake to the police, the husband may have to visit the lockup. So it's illegal to forget your wife's birthday.
The fault is yours, I think.
Samoa. Another one. Changing a light bulb is illegal in Victoria, Australia.
What?
So, changing a light bulb. This is still a law. You have to be certified to change a light bulb there. So
right.
You have to be like an electrician to change a light bulb in Australia.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sure people do it. Like,
no way.
I'm sure people do it, but you have to be like a certified electrician to go and change a light bulb in a house.
These are mad laws. Like. I just keep picturing like a police officer or something being like, you in the house or you out fitting a light bulb.
That
like,
is.
Hey, mate.
Here, Jimmy down the road has he put a tip in there. Said you were out changing the hallway light there the other Thursday. Is this true?
I know you're not qualified to be doing that. I'm gonna let you off this time as a warning, but
that's like the perfect law as an excuse for like a married man. Like, his wife's like, you changed that light in the bathroom yet? I can't. It's illegal. Hey,
can't be outside.
You don't want me getting thrown in jail.
I'm sure we'll be
knocking on the door.
We'll be dead. But another one. Flushing the toilet at night is considered noise pollution in Switzerland.
Right.
Are you one of those people who wakes up in the middle of the night and has to go to the bathroom? Avoid doing this when you're in Switzerland, or at least remember to leave the tank afloat until dawn. That's because flushing noise after 10 p.m. can be considered as noise pollution under the country's laws.
That's ridiculous.
Imagine you bursting for a dung at 10 o'clock. Something just fucking moving there. At like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Can't just shit on the floor. Just shit. Or else you'd have to shit in the bowl.
The
and not flush it. You wouldn't be able to flush it. You just have to leave it there all night.
Your neighbour's going, fuck, there he goes again. I'm sort of fucking calling the police.
I can't sleep with all this.
I can't have it.
But the houses must be close together. That's considered noise pollution.
Yeah.
Whereas the toilets are really loud whenever you flush. Chewing gum is not allowed in Singapore.
Right.
It is illegal.
What?
DNA test if you don't clean up after your dog. So that if you, obviously that's illegal. Like, you know,
leaving your dog waste.
But the big problem is people do it and they just go on. So in Capri, to keep the island clean for visitors and residents, dog owners must clean up the streets of their dog poop. If not, they will trace the DNA and the dog owners will be fined £2,000. So
that's some effort.
It seems like you're probably spending more money to go and find the dog that's done the shit than actually the fine itself. Like to pay for a DNA test and then to pay people to go out and find it. Like.
But it would obviously be quite annoying as well if you were standing there and the dog took a run out the yard one day and maybe went down the road and took a kick down the road and you didn't know about it. Then the police are at your door. We found this on the street.
What's this?
What is this? Just a
this
bag
yours?
of crap.
Does this belong to you? I don't know, officer. I've never seen that before. It's forbidden to climb trees in Oshawa in Canada
Right.
for the Patagon parks, squares and public spaces are the ideal place for children who live in cities to play freely. The bad news for those who live in the city in Oshawa is that there is a law that prohibits them from climbing trees in municipal parks. So they're not allowed to climb trees in like basically like nature, not nature reserves, but like parks and stuff. But I think that's fair enough. Like,
Yeah.
You would draw the
100%.
line somewhere. Like.
I'd say that if that was over here, like there'd be big claims off the government, like if they let them
Yeah.
climb trees. Like wee Johnny climbs a tree and he falls. His mom's like straight on the fucking big old building, being like, "Here, my son, someone pushed him. Like, I need a big claim in." Like.
Very clean.
So I suppose it's to deter that.
Nice.
Anyways,
Interesting stuff. We will end the podcast. We normally do Ross's rants, but
Ross's
a week or two
Reddits.
ago, I found a chain on Reddit called "Am I the Asshole?" and it is providing some great conversational discussions points. So I found this one the other day. Am I the asshole for telling my niece her mother never wanted children?
so whenever you do these ones that are like the niece, and it confuses me.
So I, a 28-year-old female, and my sister, a 26-year-old female. My niece is 9. My sister and I are polar opposites when it comes to children. I love them and not have always wanted them. Mine are 6 and 2, and 1 on the way. But even as a child, my sister didn't want them. My niece was conceived in what I can only describe as unfortunate circumstances. So you weren't wearing your wellies when you were paddling. My family are pro-life. Depression hit my sister hard after giving birth, but I can safely say she absolutely adores her daughter and is a wonderful mother. I myself am not pro-life. I'm pro-choice. I don't know what this got to do with price bar, but I'd been babysitting for my sister when my niece told me she didn't want a baby, and I offhandedly said, "Oh, you're just like your mother was." Now, the way I meant it was her mother didn't either, but the niece didn't take it that way, and I couldn't comfort or explain it before my sister shows up.
What did you just say? Sorry, to interrupt.
The niece is 9.
9.
So basically, the niece has been chatting away and goes, "I don't want kids," and the aunt.
Why are you talking 9-year-old if the one?
The aunt has basically went, "You're just like your ma. She didn't want you either." So basically, the niece throws a hissy fit, and basically the sister shows up. The sister thinks the sister was 100% the asshole for basically saying that your mummy didn't want you, basically. But the way I see it is she knew how I meant it. I explained, and she could have told my niece that it meant she also at the same age didn't want children. I did try to backtrack by explaining to my niece I hadn't meant it in that way, that I'd meant it when her mother was that age, although she will eventually find out. I do believe had my sister gone along with this story, my niece would have forgotten or at least moved on. So basically, she's upset. Is she the asshole?
I don't think so. Like. I think it's an easy mistake.
Why are you talking to a 9-year-old child whether they want to have kids? Like?
She's obviously, I could imagine the child said it as I don't want kids.
She's
Like as if a kid would be like,
I
I don't want a boyfriend.
The general consensus is that she is the asshole, and that there's some things that you just never say, especially to a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
So
we're
like,
not meant to give our opinion.
Impressionable.
yeah.
We're not allowed to have an opinion.
Well, it's too late now.
you're
Just
You are the asshole.
Well,
You're the asshole.
You are the asshole.
You're the
You're the
asshole for
asshole.
not allowing other people to have an opinion. So this is the general
You're not
consensus. Do
letting
you
us
agree?
No, I disagree.
Okay, so she's not the
I
asshole.
think it's just an accidental thing. I don't think she
Yeah.
done anything bad. Like. It's just one of those things like, oh, well, your ma didn't want kids and now she has you. Do you know what I mean? Like, It's
Yeah.
not that deep.
I think she sort of meant it in like a jokey fashion.
I'd
or it was
imagine, I'd imagine she just sort of said it and then was like, oh, fuck.
Because like I suppose there's no, like if it was a joke, so what? Like funny now.
I think it
Everyone gets that
depends on
wee
it depends on the context. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It's like, I suppose if the niece turned around and said, "Oh, I don't want kids," she was probably like just trying to say like, "Well, it's a normal thing." Like,
Yeah.
but you never know what can happen in life. Like, your mum didn't want kids, but here you are.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
as you said. Like it's like a 9-year-old
It
kid
does
going, "Oh,
well.
I don't want a boyfriend." Like boys are
Yeah.
yucky. Yeah. And then whenever they get older, like things change.
Yeah.
Your mummy didn't want the boyfriend. Now she's with your daddy.
Yeah.
Now she's got 5.
So but then So the general consensus you think is no, she's not in the wrong. It's just an offhanded
I just
compliment.
think it's just one of those things.
People are
comment.
too soft.
Yeah.
9-year-old
That's
kids.
a
Yeah.
9-year-old crying.
Yeah,
Well,
life,
my
yeah,
mummy
life,
didn't
like.
want me. You'd be like,
Tighten
wise
up,
up,
eh?
wise up. What
In
do
the
you
yard.
want?
You're
Fucking-
here, aren't you? There's food on the table.
Be grateful.
Your man puts heat in the radiators.
Aye.
You'd be grateful.
You won the race. You should be happy enough.
Dry your fucking eyes. Quick.
Am I the asshole for being upset that my niece requested payment when I asked her to babysit for a couple of hours? A little while ago, my husband was across the country on a work trip while I was home with Max. Which is obviously her son. I got a call one morning from his manager
Obviously.
informing me that my husband had been in a car accident and was in the hospital. He couldn't tell me much, but said that although he was stable, it didn't look good and that I should come as soon as I possibly can.
This is dark.
I obviously freaked out. I booked a ticket just for myself because it would be impossible to travel with a child and I could barely afford the last minute ticket for myself. I called everyone, long story short, to look after Max while I was away. At this point, I needed someone to watch Max for the time it would take for my mum to arrive so I could make my flight. So basically, the mum was on her way. She needed someone to look after him for a period of time until the mum came to relieve the person. Looking back, I probably could have handled the logistics better than this, but I was hysterical and was just doing things as I thought of them. I called 3 friends, 1 didn't answer and 2 were unable to help. Luckily, we live close to my brother and sister-in-law, who have a daughter who is 17. Sarah, we are very close with them. Sarah answered the door and said her parents were out. I explained the situation and asked if she'd watch Max for a couple of hours until my mum came. I should note that Sarah does babysitting for local families and obviously charges them for her services. We have never asked Sarah to babysit before in our lives. She showed some concern for my husband, and when I asked her again, she said something along the lines of, well, you'll pay me, right? I usually charge X amount per hour. I stared at her for a moment, not really expecting that response, and then my friend who didn't answer called me back and said of course she would watch Max until my mum became available. So I took Max and left without saying anything to my niece. I coordinated with my friend and my mum, then flew to see my husband. He ended up needing surgery but is making a full recovery. Husband's okay, that's great. A few days after he was able to fly home, we had dinner with my with my brother and sister-in-law. We were talking about the accident and I had mentioned that I had asked Sarah to watch Max. I also noted that I was a little bit upset with her when she brought up would I be paying her. My brother was surprised and said he would talk to her, and that's not an appropriate reaction. My sister-in-law interjected and said she was proud of Sarah for advocating for herself. She and I argued and she said that She and I argued and she said I was entitled for being surprised. She said that I was entitled for being surprised that Sarah would ask for any money. To be clear, if I asked Sarah to babysit under normal circumstances, I would obviously pay her. It was unsettling that Sarah would bring up payment while, for all I knew, my husband was dying in a hospital on the other side of the country. I think it would have been more empathetic to bring up the topic of payment after I returned and confirmed my husband was okay. My sister-in-law is still being cold with me, and so is my niece. Am I the asshole for getting upset?
I'm assuming this Sarah niece is like a reasonable age, like
She's 17.
17.
Yeah. So basically, husband nearly kicks the bucket. She needs to go gadget. I need someone to look after the weigh-in. This doll, Sarah, who is the niece, who obviously happens to do babysitting, is free. She calls round at the house. Can you look after the weigh-in? She goes, well, you'll obviously pay me for it.
Yeah.
No,
That's not on.
It's just not the asshole.
Especially family, like,
Oh no,
like family, like no, just
read
stop. Like,
the room.
you should be like, it wasn't even like you're babysitting for a full week or anything. It was just a few hours till the parents, like her parents came around. Like.
It's not on. It's not on.
No, that's like if you got in a car accident, right, and there was a doctor just happened to drive past, and people were shouting like, I need a doctor. So this doctor comes up and he's like, oh, I can do it, but someone has to pay me.
Yeah, you'll obviously pay me, right?
You know, obviously, like, nah, man, that's just not on. Like.
Family as well. Like.
Yeah.
So the
bad,
general consensus was there was one actual person in the comment section was just like, what did you expect? Basically, like she obviously, she does it for her career.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it for her career. She's 17, so she clearly will probably do it on the side as a bit of a side hustle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not
But, like,
professional service, like.
Like, I think that's mad. Like, that would be the equivalent of like one of us, like say Aoife babysat and got paid for it,
Yeah.
and we were in the same position. I landed round at your house. I said, Aoife, I'm so sorry, but like, could you look after baby Ross for the afternoon? And she was just like, well, you'll obviously be paying me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that,
You know,
like.
you'd be like, lad.
But like,
But
yeah.
even if she didn't say that, and then after she was like, "Oh, throw us a few quid," you'd be like, "Fuck off!" Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
It's in
It's
those
different.
situations where you just have to sort of say an on,
You need to
and
just
then
be
maybe in time, you know,
just be
when
a
she
nice
gets her
person. like.
head together, she'd be like, "Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Here's something."
Yeah.
But
you
you wouldn't
know.
even be expecting anything. You just do
I know
the
you
right
wouldn't
thing.
expect
Yeah.
anything, but like,
But like,
I
it
hate that.
it
It's
depends
such
if
a
they're a
compliment,
decent
such a
if they're
wanker.
decent people. You probably just wouldn't say anything, and probably after time, like the likes of again putting ourselves in the position. If the same thing happened and I was asking Aoife or whatever, she babysat or whatever, and I said, "Oh, can you look after baby Ross because Lucinda's been in a car accident or whatever." And you know, after a while, you'd probably be like, "Oh, here, do you want to come round for dinner just as a thanks for helping
Yeah,
us out? We're
yeah.
in that
A
emergency."
nice
Like,
gesture.
I think people forget how to just be a normal human being sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
It's always been, if that was me, I would have been like, "You fucking serious?"
yeah,
I would have been like, "Fuck off."
yeah,
Seriously,
She's
like,
like,
Yeah.
this is not going to align with my side hustle visions. Like, with
seriously.
2024.
the fact that you'd obviously pay me and be like, "Well, obviously fucking not. My husband's in hospital, Dan, and you want money? Fuck you, you can't."
Yeah.
but clearly, I would say what's there is probably deeper in terms of, I would say, clearly from that reading that the sister-in-law is not a big fan of the husband's
Wife.
Yeah, it's the husband's
Yeah, so I
niece.
would say there's a wee bit of
But I-
iffiness there. So I would say she's went round to the door and it's like, this bitch, like, no,
But
no
clearly
chance.
she's not
Yeah.
she's too big a fan of the fucking uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
like, if she's looking money in the
Yeah.
hospital,
Yeah, exactly.
actually, you'd be alright. A few quid. And
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't just,
Imagine like, you'll throw me a bit of money. I can't afford it at the minute. I have a the life insurance.
he'll just have to wait for another few hours.
if you can afford a plane ticket, you can afford me.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Get the check book out there.
So yeah, no,
Perfect.
that was a fun one.
On a couple of hours as well, and the man coming over, like,
I know. It's not like
Honestly.
even as if you're staying overnight normally.
desperate for the money. Like,
But anyway,
we'll wrap that.
we'll wrap that up there. Thank you very, very much for listening. And as usual, subscribe, like, all that there jazz. And we will see you
or hear you.
in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.